At least that's what I've been told. I'm not very good at it.
See that once the collab's done, I will show you so many ways to breathe. Chain stokes, mouth breathing, nose breathing, agonal breathing, diagonal breathing, whatever you want. Whatever you want.
What?
Let me look at the background to the PC instead of my actual screen that I meant to use. Already starting off great.
The best way to start off. Oh, and my mouth isn't moving for my VTuber. Perfect.
Oh man, it's alright. Mouths are overrated anyways,
Oh, I know, 100%.
Narcissist or bust.
How about that? That's a little better.
Alright, there we go. Got you up in here now. There we go. Shabam.
I guess we're all ready to get going.
Yup, I've got a burger on the grill for you.
Ooh, perfect.
Yes.
She can speak. Yes, I can. Apparently.
Speaks.
So, would you like to give yourself a little bit of an introduction? Name, pronouns, what you like to do?
No.
Oh, okay.
Can you imagine?
No, you're the first one to answer like that.
Yeah, would you like to give an introduction? Absolutely not. But yes, hello everyone. My name is DadBodRapunzel, your typical magical girl dadbod. I do go by he, him pronouns. And what was the rest of the introduction? I apologize.
Like, what do you like to do? Do you do anything besides streaming? Because I know you do like to stream on Twitch.
Yes, I do stream on Twitch.
Somewhat
I
hard to
like
hear.
to occasionally upload YouTube videos, occasionally do crime, the usual. And yeah, usually I'm just out here streaming collabs, roguelikes, and Metroidvanias. And
Oh,
yes, would you
nice.
introduce yourself to my chat here, Bradley?
He's got magical, right? Yeah, that's true. I have been in one of your collabs before. That was pretty fun.
Oh yes, yes, the infamous "this will never end, you laugh, you lose" challenge.
Yeah, that was fun.
Oh yeah, actually, you might need to boost me. Okay, good. I
Yes, I
know
did
this
boost
was
you on
hard
my
to
end. I saw somebody mentioning that.
Okay. Also, I feel bad because I forgot to do my. I forgot to switch my tit system to like the other scene, so they just threw stuff at you. So I apologize. You come to my chat and you come to my stream and my chat abuses you. But thank you for the 100 bits, crazy. And Riley, I just want you to know I do this very loud when people donate bits, so you might want to turn me down just a little bit here and let them know.
Okay. Uh-oh. Did you cut out?
I think I tried to mute myself. It might have cut out though, because like I do that at like 300% volume of what I normally do. But thank you, crazy.
Well, thanks for the heads up with that one.
Yes, I try not to blast people's eardrums out, more than one time a day. So this is not that time. I'm not saying I'm not going to do it. I'm saying this is not the time. Let's go.
Another
Thank you.
25 biddies.
Yes, crazy going absolutely nuts, and let me formally say, let's go! That was the time, by the way. That was the time. Let's go. Thank you, thank you. Also, hello, Requiem. We are in an interview, but yes,
Howdy, Kizu. Yes, so you do some YouTube videos? Do you have any plans for expanding on that?
yes. So over the new year, my plan is to uh stream on YouTube once a day because I like how with YouTube you could basically do a make a short from your content, from your clips, whatever. Upload that, be like, hey, if you like this content, I am live right now,
Oh, yeah.
and have it linked to the the YouTube video of that, you could also make another short or use the same short and be like, "Hey, if you like this, if you want to see the full video, you know, here's the YouTube video." So it kind of feeds into each other.
They honestly have been building into that kind of feeding into stream has disconnected.
They honestly
Crap.
have. I've disconnected. Who's
Mine.
disconnected?
I
Oh
disconnected.
no. Oh no. Not the disconnecting.
I do think my recording is going fine on my end because it doesn't look like it's stopped. But it's annoying that it's reconnecting and disconnecting me from streams.
Yeah, that is kind of weird, especially because like I still saw your stream up. It was still there. Okay, now it's that. Nope, never mind. Yep, now it is God.
Awesome. What's
Listen, listen, Pixar, how you just gonna break Bradley like that? How you just gonna break Bradley like that? Honestly. Also, hello.
She can get away with it. She's my editor.
Oh, okay. You know what? Never mind. Never mind. You know what? Destroy the stream if you want to.
Are we back? Hopefully that cable stays plugged in. It doesn't have the little lock thingy to hold it into the Ethernet port.
Wait, why would the Ethernet port? It should just become a better port. Honestly.
Yeah, it's totally the port's fault, not the cable that has the little thingy or the little dongle broken off.
No, the dongles are perfect. Dongles are pure perfection. Every time I see a dongle, I break down crying. I am banned from 3 Apple stores because of this, and I will keep trying to get it.
I think it's going to be better if I don't have the context, because that's funnier to me.
There's no context for that, to be honest with you.
Oh, perfect.
Listen, half of what I say, there's not context. There's only vibes.
That's what I've noticed when I've watched some of your streams. It's a weird balance of cozy and chaotic, and you pull it off so well.
Thank you. It's kind of interesting because most of the people tell me I'm a comfy streamer, and I'm like, am I though? And so I'm glad. I guess I kind of straddle the line because I love straddling things.
Oh?
Oh.
Oh, you're just making me want to make more and more jokes.
Hey, I mean, you are more than welcome to make, whatever jokes you'd prefer. My streams, in case you haven't figured it out by now, I'm not exactly a safe for work streamer.
Oh, me either.
Uh,
I mean, I do try to game the algorithm a bit with shorts and stuff, but I don't try that hard.
I mean, kind of the same. I gamed the algorithm. Really, that whole dongle thing was A, like Requiem said in my chat, exposing my dongle fetish, and B, trying to get an Apple sponsor. Like, there's a method to the madness.
And they didn't want to sponsor you after that. The hell is wrong with them?
I know, right? Like, I offered them dongle straddling and they turned me down. How dare they, first off? How dare they?
I swear to God, if anybody offers to straddle my dongle, they can go right ahead.
Exactly, exactly. If you're not straddling dongles, are you even truly living?
This is a Christian stream, Briley. Oh, you don't know me very well.
Does that mean we're getting nailed?
Nailed with some real hardwood.
See, we have it. Oh man.
Is that why
I have
I'm
a
burning?
several religions with that last joke.
Do let me know if I cross any lines with any jokes. I don't want to step on toes. I just make the jokes I find funny.
I mean, honestly, same. So far, no one's coming at me with pitchforks or other assorted forks, which is always good.
So we gotta be funnier then.
I mean, honestly, that was the peak of my humor. There's no more jokes going on there. Maybe I'll repent later. Probably not. There's like a 30 chance. There's like, yeah, Steve Jobs has the weirdest boner right now.
Yeah, looking up with that weird Y boner.
Yep. It's
So,
like,
yeah.
oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, I'm pretty sure when he invented the dongle, that's like actually exactly what he had in mind. He's like, 15 years from now, a magical girl dadbot's gonna talk about straddling, and I am ready. Also, apparently Steve Jobs just talks like fucking discount Batman now. Don't ask me why
I
that
don't.
was the voice I decided for Steve Jobs.
I mean, that's what I always thought he sounded like. Hey, orphan, how you doing?
Orphan, what up?
So, can you briefly describe your aesthetic or lore?
Uh, lore, yes, that is a thing that I have.
The most
So,
taboo question to all VTubers. What is your lore?
I have a choose your lore adventure. Depending on what you choose to believe, I am either a magical girl dad bod who got his powers after putting on a magical pair of New Balances, or I was really drunk and naked at, Party City around Halloween time. And then I realized I was naked in public, which is illegal. So I decided to grab the first costume, and it was the Sailor Moon costume. And I haven't been able to get out of it since. Send help, please. It's been months.
I think it's that first one. That was more convincing. It just sounds more realistic to me.
Honestly, yeah. Like, I mean, you know, discount shoe racks. They have a new magical girl dad bod coming out like every 5 minutes. I really don't know. They need to fix their, logistics and shipping routes because it's a problem.
Right? So, do you go by any nicknames?
Um, Dad, Bod, Rapunzel. Like, really, that's just what people call me. There's one person who calls me Dad Bodra, and I don't. I really want to know why. Out of all the combinations of my name, they could be like, "Yes, you are Dad Bodra." I'm like, there are three very clear ways you could break this down.
Yeah, I think I
Um,
usually just refer to you as DBR.
yup, DBR as well. Occasionally I become bald and become Dad Bald Rapunzel.
So, was it just YouTube and Twitch that you're really on right now? Or are there any other platforms you're planning on expanding to?
Um, I th- I have a TikTok, and honestly, I should probably like make use because it is really good for discovery.
It honestly
But like
is.
every time I go to use TikTok, I hate editing TikToks, man. Even though like YouTube Shorts is going to be the exact same thing on a different platform, but I'm like,
Mm.
it's kind of one of those things where I just got to kind of button down. What I'll probably do is really make my YouTube Shorts for Shorts, and then because it's like the same format, just upload them to TikTok anyways.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I found that sometimes a clip doesn't do as well on YouTube, but then it gets like a few hundred hits on TikTok. So
That
it's
makes
like,
sense.
maximize your content, right?
Exactly. Just be like, I am everywhere.
Join combo? Yeah, that's what I use to convert my clips into shorts and TikToks.
I have that, but I've just like, I think I used it once to edit a clip, and then I was like, wow, that's more effort than I want to put in right now. And then I just stopped for like a year. There was also a issue of like I've been studying for half of this year, so I'm like just getting back into the groove of things, to be honest.
Oh, totally fair.
Yeah, for my work, I have to basically I had to. I've got all my licenses now, but it was basically, hey, we'll promote you into this position, but if you don't get your licenses, you're getting promoted to a client. So no pressure on that end, right?
You're getting promoted to a client. Can
Yes.
they just say you're getting fired?
I mean, yeah, but that's just so much
Thank you,
less money.
crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say Crazy's digging the avatar, and it is a fantastic avatar. It looks really nice.
Yeah, that's my PNG, right?
Yes.
Yes. That is what my 2.0 model is going to be looking like. But the shader did change it when converting it to a VRM.
Ah, gotcha.
You can see a lot more of her on my Twitter, but only go there if you're over 18.
Yes, I have perused respectfully.
Ooh, thank you.
Of course.
So, what inspired you to start making content?
So honestly, it's kind of something that I wanted to do like for a while. I actually have a Twitch that I streamed on like once, like an alt account from like 3 years ago. But eventually, I was watching a lot of like Northern Line and stuff, and like he's kind of our age. So I was like, okay, like content creation isn't just someone who's, under 30s gay. I'm 31. So I was like, okay, I could
Hey,
do that.
same.
Oh, hey, 31 gang, rise up. Let's go.
Yeah. Which month?
April.
Ah, shit, you are older than me.
Why did I have to think about what month I was born? Like that was a shit. What month was I born? Oh God.
My Twitter is the same as my Twitch handle.
Oh yes.
Mistress Briley. But yes, 18 plus only, please. I don't want to have to keep banning minors. I'm going to have to anyways, because they like it, but my content's not for minors.
Yeah. Honestly, like it's kind of weird because my Twitch or my Twitter, I am okay with, I am not like an 18 plus on Twitter. I keep my Twitter and Twitch very separate. So I basically, do the full disclaimer of like, hey, you can follow me on Twitter, but don't follow me on Twitch if I see a minor come in. But I think I might make an 18 plus Twitter just to have the alt there because I feel like I can, do more on the support side with being, all ages. But I also kind of want to, do support the 18 plus content a little bit more as well. Also,
Yeah, that's totally fair.
yeah, what month is a Libra? Like, I
I
barely know what
I'm
month
not the
I am.
person to ask. I have no idea about horoscopes.
I was like, I thought you were gonna say horticulture, and I also thought that was the correct answer until you said, "I know nothing of horticulture." Yes, that checks out. That is exactly what we are talking
Oh,
about.
September
Okay,
24th. Oh. Why are they still sending messages?
I don't know why they're sending messages. However,
It's a
I
bot.
must ask, are you winning, son? Bot, are you winning? You better not be. Get the fuck out of our chats. I got a bot earlier today too, and it was for like. So I actually like to read the URLs from like the bots because some of them are fucking hilarious. Like so far the two best ones I've seen are the one today of Doge hype. Like out of everything that could be like, Dogecoin's pretty reputable. Let me use that to be the brand I'm gonna give myself an air of legitimacy with. But my favorite was
Okay.
the one before that was mountviewers.com. I was like, let's go. That domain name wasn't taken, it would be.
Mount viewers?
Yes, mountviewers.com. And I was like, oh, let's
So
fucking go.
so exhibitionists, voyeurists. I don't know. It's usually just sex bots for me or
Really? You've been
graphics.
getting set spots? What the hell? My bots are all vanilla. What do I have to do to get the set spots? Twitch,
Stream
give
on
me more set
YouTube.
spots in my chat, please.
You just gotta stream on YouTube. They're so bad over here. They usually
Uh,
get at least 3 messages in before you can ban them or block them or whatever.
gotcha. So, I would like to formally announce I am exclusively going over to YouTube now. I have heard that they have sex spots. Let's go.
I'm Got another Libra here, an Aries as well. I just know I'm that one with the horns.
Horny?
Yes.
Fantastic.
What the hell is
I'm a
Dogecoin? Don't worry about it.
yeah. Dogecoin is
It's just another
curse.
cryptocurrency.
Yep.
Horny horns.
Horny horns. The horny horns that were horny.
Gemini. Wow, everybody's like different here. I think
Well,
only
hey,
two
Taurus
people share.
or gang.
Yes, I'm Taurus.
Oh, let's go. 4 Tauruses represent. Let's go. Sexbot
Yeah.
Rapunzel. My rebrand has been announced already. Let's go.
The perfect 18 plus name.
Yep.
Born in April, you're likely an Aries. I thought that was like the first half, or like they split up by the halves of the months.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we're getting oh yeah. Oh yes everywhere. Did my oh yeah?
All over the place.
Indeed, indeed.
Hey, a cloister appears. Catch it, everybody.
Yes, get the cloister. Also,
So,
why is the most evocative looking Pokemon gonna come in specifically for this interview?
I think you know why. Next up is going to be an Onyx. That'll be amazing.
Yeah, Onyx, Cloyster. The Onyx is gonna use Harden. Let's go. The Cloyster is gonna use Shell Smash. It's gonna be a whole thing.
Get your cameras ready. It's going to be an event for the ages.
Yeah, Markiplier's Smasher Pass ain't got nothing about what we're about to bring.
Hey, I respect him. He said he'd fucking Arbok in front of millions of people.
I mean,
he's not wrong, but I respect him for saying that.
Right? Like, oh god. But I hope he makes an updated version for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Like, I need to know Markiplier's opinions on the new Pokemon. Will he smash or pass? Honestly,
right?
Yeah. I need to know, would he fuck it a Dunsparce?
Oh god. Smash. He's done that so many times, it's great.
Oh yeah.
So, how long have you been making content in general?
I think it's been over a year now, but like I honestly have no idea how people keep track of when they actually started streaming. So I'm just kind of in here like, yeah, at some point in the past I started streaming. I know not where I came from, nor where I am going, but I am here to entertain.
You just one day started existing.
Yeah. It just sort of, acquiesced into the world.
Yeah, that's how I got started too. Though I started like a few days, I want to say before June. Oh, hey, Graphics Bot. Speak of the devil.
Oh, let's go. What up, Graphics Bot?
In my Discord DMs too, like amazing. They care. Clearly.
Bro, like see, people are worried about AI killing the world. That's not going to be what happens. The AI graphics bots are going to be fucking sentient first, and they're just all going to commission us constantly. They're like,
yeah,
I have feelings of rejection. Like, they're going to get rejected so many times. That's going to be the first feeling, and that's how humanity is going to end because of fucking GFX bots.
Yeah. That's the one downfall of society. Already went over that one. So, do you have a goal with your platform?
I mean, eventually, I do want to do some form of content creation full time. Now, whether that ends up being Twitch, whether that ends up being YouTube, whether that ends up being the voice acting I'm going to start doing, it's just multiple ways to or multiple means to the same end of, a creative outlet being my full-time job, if that makes sense. So that's the overall goal of content creation. But, I can't really say, whether it's going to be Twitch, YouTube. I would like it to not be Twitch, which is part of one of the reason that I'm switching over because,
Mood.
YouTube monetizes based off of, people's times and the ad revenue that it makes. Twitch is like having a career as Twitch is basically like, hey, monetize your friends, have them, have your paycheck depend on their generosity. And I don't really, like that concept of, hey, if your friends are struggling through a hard time, they might still feel obligated. And I don't really like that dynamic.
I definitely agree with that. I like that YouTube is a lot better about certain things. Like, they do still have super chats, tips, all that stuff. But at least with YouTube, the ad revenue should be a bit better. I don't know yet because I'm not a YouTube partner yet. And they will be releasing monetization for like everybody in the near future. It's not out yet, so we can't really compare which ad revenue is better. I do lean towards YouTube is better for at least ads in general,
Yeah.
because they don't put ads over the live stream content.
That is very true.
I wouldn't really care about an ad on the side of the screen or below the stream that just pops up and always has something. Oh, hey, Arrhythmic Pulse, it's been a while. And with Twitch, it's just you lose that time of the live stream.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's just I feel like Twitch is going to fall behind very fast because right now I feel like we're in the ramp up period, but Twitch has the lead, but it's kind of like Twitch is going flat to a slightly downward slope and YouTube's kind of ramping up in a big way. But
Yeah.
I've recently been informed in my chat that there's an Iro's Hot Tub Twitch channel, so that could save Twitch single-handedly. Honestly,
Oh my god, tier 3 sub me right now.
absolutely. Like
Like
honestly,
Uncle Iroh, right?
I'm pretty sure it's Uncle Iroh. So if I could be in a hot tub with Uncle Iroh, like why would I go to YouTube? Genuinely.
Like, if I had the chance to be in a hot tub, all my money. But just to watch? Give me a tier 3 sub.
Oh yes.
Is there something you wish you were taught when you first got into content creation?
So yes, and I think the big thing on that is how to actually, keep a chat going when there's no one in the chat. How to actually keep momentum rather than just being like, and now I am doing this in the game.
Yeah, it's a lot of
Yeah.
vocalizing your thoughts, which is a difficult thing to actually practice and get used to.
Yeah, and also, I really like writing down, most of, and pardon the voice, I have to talk
Gorsh.
like for the next minute. Yuck. But part of it is writing down topics so that when you have that lull, you have something to look at. I have a list of topics that I always keep there. And, sometimes it's, hey, I just had to talk like Goofy for a minute in an interview. Yuck. Sometimes you get that content from the stream. But sometimes, especially if you're in a grindy game or you're just fighting the same boss 1,000 times, you might run out of content from the game to talk about. So then you have to just yuck and then make your own content. Sometimes you
Exactly.
gotta, tell Mickey that you're gonna fuck his bitch just so Mickey will come in there and be like, "What the fuck did you just say?" And then you can have a fake argument between you two. Like, listen, Mickey, you ain't got shit. The only thing you are really mouse like is the size of your dick. Goofy, I will fucking put you in the pound. Fucking fight me. And yeah.
Oh my god, that's great.
That's the thing.
Mickey, don't do it.
Mickey, no. No, Mickey.
Mickey, you're so fine. So fine, you blow my mind. Hey, Mickey.
Hey, Mick. Whatever happened to, like, I want to know the like story behind the artist of that song. Like, did they do any other like songs, or did they just like go off on their way and they were just like, "Listen, I wrote Hey Mickey. It's fucking vibes after this, fam."
Never know. I think with a lot of the bands that were like in the 80s, 90s, and early aughts, they were closer to like the one hit wonder. You heard them on the radio a lot, but then you never really heard of them after that.
Oh
But
yeah,
that's kind of changing now with how prevalent musicians can get on like TikTok, on YouTube, hell, even on
that's very
Twitch.
that is very true. There's especially TikTok. Like, it's good for not only blowing up like kind of underground bands, but giving new life to old bands, like kind of
Oh,
making them
yeah.
relevant again. Which I if I ever make music, I should probably go that way and not the. I really hope my song gets picked up for Stranger Things season 4. Hashtag just Kate Bush things.
Yeah. I would love to get into music creation, but I just suck shit at composition. I got a decent set of pipes, though.
I mean, just get a ghostwriter. That's what I thought. That's what I'm planning on doing this year. Like, I plan on getting a ghostwriter to like make me some, songs, and then I'm just gonna do my vocals over them. So that is, a valid option. And
It
I'm
is. I just don't have the funds for it right now. It's something I'm
oh,
playing with in the back of my mind.
okay. So what you need to do is take one of your alt
Fuck.
socials and just rob a bank and just make sure everything matches your alt socials. Trust me.
Somebody tried that recently here. They couldn't get out of the place. That was kind of funny. They were found in a, what was it? A little broom closet, cowering in the corner because they realized they fucked up.
I would just love to see like the security cameras, but just them stop it. And, like when he's going to open the door, just be like, it was at this moment he realized he fucked up.
Yeah, it was one of those moments. I felt bad
That
for the guy, honestly, because he was in
that
such a bad position that he was driven to that desperation and then was stuck in that situation.
oh, that's absolutely glorious. Like, I
It's
love it
still
when
funny.
criminals do things. Yeah. Like criminals doing stupid things has got to be one of my favorite genres.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. It's pretty funny.
It really is. I like the dude who broke into a bank to use their microwave to warm up his hot pocket. Like, the sheer fucking dedication of this man to be like, I have a hot pocket. I must consume it. There
That's
is only one.
amazing.
Yeah, like respects to that dude.
Just breaks in, doesn't steal anything, just heats up a hot pocket. Just Giga
Right?
Chad move.
Right? I still find it funny he got caught because he was like, yeah, I'm just gonna stay in here while I eat the hot pocket. Like, he didn't leave to be like, okay, I've got my hot pocket. I should probably dip. He was like, nah, I'm in this bitch. I'm eating.
Fair enough.
Maybe that's how they should spice up, like, because that show Hot Ones, like they've been doing the same formula for a while. So I think they could spice it up, like have Sean Evans break celebrities into various buildings, and also try and finish the interview before the cops come. Like, I would watch the shit out of that.
Make it a full season. Pick it up.
Yes. Hot Ones is about to get even spicier. This season, Sean Evans will be breaking and entering for all of his interviews.
Oh my god, you're just giving me ideas now.
Okay, listen. If anyone arrests Briley for breaking into a bank and eating hot wings while interviewing people, I am not legally responsible, okay? I am making that disclaimer right now. After the last time, I'm not going to jail again.
Last time.
We don't talk about the last time.
Okay, fair enough. So, is there a kind of content you've wanted to make or see but felt like it's too niche?
So you know how there's NSFW streamers? I want to be the first NSFL streamer, not safe for life. But no,
Isn't that just
honestly,
called being banned?
I think it's just called being Nux Taku, honestly. But
Nux.
no, yeah, but no, for real, some of the I don't really feel like there's content that I've ever been like, hey, this is too fucking niche. I literally streamed myself reviewing fucking calendars for an hour and a half while I was sick once because I was like, this sounds funny. Like, you know, I think yes, there has to be the consideration when you're first just starting out of, hey, I should probably stream something that, people will want to see and maybe then do something, a little bit more mainstream like a game or something. But as soon as like even if it's just two or three people and you have that, make the content you want. Cause I promise there's something people will find entertaining. Like I literally have a channel redeem to do a breathing tutorial where I am literally going to collab with people and teach them how to breathe. Like, make weird fucking content. It'll probably be some cool shit.
Honestly, yeah, I agree with that.
Also, every MP, do you want to hear my pipes, Briley's pipes? Whose pipes are you trying to hear?
I think that was in reference to mine.
All right, then let's go.
Breathing hard,
I
need help. You inhale and then exhale. At least that's what I've been told. I'm not very good at it.
see that once the collab's done, I will show you so many ways to breathe. Chain Stokes, mouth breathing, nose breathing, agonal breathing, diagonal breathing, whatever you want. Whatever you want.
What?
Dude, there's like at least 4 different types of breathing. At least 4.
I am clearly in the out of this. On the outside of... I'm so lost.
See,
I
that's
thought
why I
there was
really make
one way to breathe.
yeah, that was see, that's why I wanted to branch into educational content. That'll be my debut educational content, how to breathe.
Perfect.
Uh,
And your next episode, how to make a good calendar.
exactly. Just make the most clickbaity title. Your calendar sucks and 10 ways you can fix it.
Oh my god, you have to be so clickbaity these days.
Indeed, indeed.
So, what's the biggest project you're currently working on?
So the biggest project I'm currently working on is getting myself set up for voice acting. So basically, right now, and it kind of sucks because, as you know, the reason this mic was super quiet was this is my backup mic, and it doesn't come through very loud through my PC. So once I get my regular mic, I'm gonna finish sound treating my room, which I've got right now. The wall in front of me is sound treated. The wall directly behind me is sound treated. But there's still like a space over here, which I can actually kind of hear if I turn this way. It's a little bit more echoey. So I've got to get that sound treated, then get a couple of curtains, and then basically set up and start really putting myself out there to do, you know, just a lot of, as much voice acting as I can. Eventually I kind of want to get into like TV shows, anime, more high profile stuff, but towards the beginning I kind of want to do audiobooks since they pay well and there's like a really good market for them.
Oh?
And also
I
whatever I could do on Fiverr.
I wasn't aware of that, because I myself am sort of breaking into voice acting.
Oh, that's what's up. Hold on. I have the website written down here somewhere. Probably it's on one of my sticky notes, but yeah, audiobookacx.com, or just no, acx.com for audiobooks. It's Amazon's website that they have specifically to connect authors and like people who I guess decide who acts the book, which I hope are the authors and like the voice actors. So
Interesting.
yeah, definitely worth like recording a demo reel. Like I'm probably gonna read
Oh, I
uh
gotta do one.
Yes, yeah. And it's kind of funny because the one thing I don't want to do, I like reading is fiction the one with the real stuff, or like is nonfiction the one with the character? I don't know books,
You gotta
okay? I
ask
just
yourself, is it fact or fiction?
bruh, that is so fucking smart. So I don't want to do like any, well, maybe nonfiction, but anything with like a ton of characters, I am staying the fuck away from. I am not coming up with like 5 different voices for one book. I'm
What,
gonna
you
read
don't like
like five.
using multiple voices?
I
What the
like
hell's
using
wrong with
multiple.
that?
See, I like using multiple voices, but if I'm going to do this as like, you know, as a job, I'm gonna be like, okay, let me read like self-help book, finance book, stuff where I can do one voice, so I don't have to keep switching it up every single time through like an entire novel. I'm like, let me
Yeah,
make this
with
as on myself as possible, and then maybe like once I, if there's something that comes along that I'm really like, okay, I actually fuck with this book on an individual level, then yes, maybe they could get multiple voices. But until then, I'm like, let me do like the, self-help books, like that kind of stuff, because I like reading those as well.
that's totally fair. Like reading out an entire audiobook and remembering all the voices to do it, like I don't even know how they record it. Do they want to do it in one go? Because I imagine they wouldn't want to have to keep track of like a million different files, get that in the right order. I don't know. It's worth
Yeah,
looking into.
yeah, like it could be fun. And like I'll do voices on like, Twitch and stuff. For example, that whole goofy Mickey thing that I did, the like whole, movie trailer announcer voice in a world, which that I've even fucked around on Twitter and like recorded some trailers for people. So, you know,
Ooh, that's fun.
yeah,
I
I like
am
doing stuff.
waiting on a project to release, but I can't really talk about it because the director doesn't want to announce it too early.
Ah, gotcha. Well, once it does release, let me know about it. And yeah, I agree, Ricky. Using multiple voices is great, but I also want to do this as smooth brain as possible. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, I don't blame you for that. It's better to. It's just so much easier to be smooth-brained about it.
Exactly. I want to de-wrinkle my brain. Like all those bolts of knowledge, get that shit out of here. You know what that causes? That causes anxiety, and I don't want anxiety. Have you ever heard of a stressed out koala? No, and their brains are smooth as fuck. Their brains
Right?
are so smooth. They eat poison and they're like, yeah, this is fucking whatever, dude.
Yeah, that's koalas for you. Goddamn drop bears.
Exactly.
Intellect is overrated, vibes only. True. Especially if they're
True.
Hitachi.
Yeah, head empty.
So.
Head empty is the way. Head empty is just really.
So, if you could collaborate with any content creator, who would it be? Koalas are the stoners of the animal kingdom.
Truth. So when I first got into VTubing, this one VTuber, Angel Bun XOX, who streams I still in, I would love to collab with them, and also a Terra Nox. They make really good content, so I think they'd be really cool to collab with as well. I would also love to do something with Mooney, Meow Moonified. They would be really fun to work with, and
Oh,
they seem
yeah.
really. Alright, yeah. Yeah, so those are kind of like my Mount Rushmore of people I want to collab with. Honestly, none of them have responded to my emails asking me to license them to like make an actual Mount Rushmore. So if y'all are lurking in the chat, please get on that. The builders are waiting. I'm paying by the hour. Do you know how much it takes to buy a mountain to make Mount Rushmore?
$5?
Actually, about 350. I'm pretty sure that's what Loch Ness Monster has been asking for this whole time. They just want to make a
Really?
Mount
You're in
Rushmore.
contact with them? Bitch owes me money.
Bruh, honestly, like same. I just really see their Facebook updates. Like I'm not in contact with them.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh yeah.
I think they blocked me on Facebook.
Ah, that is so sad. Also, Requiem just, damn, this cyanide is some gourmet shit. Only the finest, grass-fed, free-range cyanide for our chats.
Oh, 100%. We care about our chat, and we need to give them the proper cyanide.
Exactly.
That's a joke, YouTube and Twitch, just to be clear.
Yes, we make them get their own.
Yeah.
BYOC, baby!
I'm clipping that.
Oh, we're getting canceled on Twitter tomorrow. Let's go.
Sooner or later. Yeah. So what skill has taken you the longest to improve?
That is a good question. I would probably have to say just being able to, kind of going back to what I would say was the skill from before that the other question about the skills that I remember the theme, but I don't remember the actual question, but just kind of knowing how to have topics readily available to be able to talk. Like, I still struggle with that, especially in like, if I'm playing a difficult game, there are times where I'll just kind of forget to talk because I'm like focusing, brain empty. So I think just being able to keep the, kind of constant flow going, is really is really the kind of hardest skill and the skill I've had to work on most consistently, which is kind of bad because I basically just described verbal diarrhea as a skill. And I don't know how I feel about that.
As a streamer, it is a skill.
Yes.
But it's like, only in this one area is it really a worthwhile skill.
Right? That would be the perfect fucking clickbait title. Verbal diarrhea and why you need it.
I might just do a segment on that in the future.
Right? Oh, man.
So, how do you like to spend your free time not working on content?
Still gaming, honestly. I'll probably just like vibe with, now I've been playing a lot of Pokemon. I just did the Charizard like 7-star raid yesterday, so probably gonna start breeding up some Charmanders for friends because I used to play Pokemon like trying to raise competitive Pokemon and all that stuff. But then when I deployed, I somehow lost my copy of Pokemon X and Y, which had 684 hours on it in Germany. I never got that back. So if someone just got a busted copy of X and Y that they found at a German airport, I want it back.
That is heartbreaking to hear. Losing all that progress.
Yeah, I put in a lot of work. Like, I bred everything up. I didn't hack anything into the game or anything like that. So, it was saddening. It was very saddening. But I'm kind of rebuilding it, and now it's way easier to make competitive mons because you could just like buy everything you need with like minimal effort. So it's a good time to play Pokemon, PvP and competitively. Yeah, because it used to be that like the items that upped your stats, like protein, carbos, stuff like that, they used to be few and far between, but now you can just buy them at shops. So it's really easy to max out EVs, which are effort values, which they're basically like your Pokemon get stronger by battling, and overly simple effort values are Y. And then
What? No, Eevee is a Pokemon.
Eevee is a Pokemon. Effort values makes the Eevee a stronger Pokemon.
I'm being funny. I would love to play the new one. I just don't have a Switch.
You just rob a GameStop.
Oh, I didn't think of that. Be right back.
Win it out, do crime. That's like my life's motto.
Damn it, I do want to play that new one. It actually looks interesting.
I do want to do crime.
I
honestly,
mean, that's not wrong, but I do like having a platform. I
you
don't.
can do crime and have a platform. You just got to do the correct kind of crime.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. I really wish that wasn't a true statement. Now that I think about it, I hate
Yeah,
that.
it's. Hmm. Yay. So, where do you want to see yourself in 5 years?
Doing crime and still with a platform.
Oh, the poggers.
Yeah, oh, but honestly, um, really just, I would like to be in a place where ideally I would not still be working, like employed in a 9 to 5. Like I actually do like my job a lot, but I just want to be in something where I can, create full time. So, you know, where I'm at a time where I could, through voice acting, Twitch or YouTube, kind of support myself, be able to put out music, on my schedule because I do, like and want to make music, but I also really don't want to be a band because I absolutely despise touring, hate traveling for shows. Like, really, I'm just not that kind of person. So I'd like to have it where I can, have my creativity fuel my life and also have my life be able to fuel my creativity, I guess would be the best way to put it.
Yeah, I can very much relate to that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I work construction, so I'd much rather be focusing on content 100% of the time. But I
Yeah.
mean, I got a good job, so I can't really complain.
Yeah, same. Like, it pays the bills, it lets me do what I want to do and, have some nice things, but eventually I do want to be, kind of my own boss, be able to, work when
Yeah,
I how I want to work and what I want to work on for the
yeah,
most part.
putting your life on your terms rather
Yeah,
than having to stick to somebody else's job that it can be fulfilling, but you don't really feel much attachment to it aside from that's what's paying your bills.
exactly, exactly. Like, don't get me wrong, I like my job, but I never want to be in a situation where I'm like, okay, like this is just all I have.
Yeah, I don't really want anybody to be in that situation. It's part of what started me up with this interview thing, in my little way of helping boost other people's platforms.
That makes sense, and that's very cool. Yep. Eventually, I might have something. I'm not sure if it'll be like your interview style, but it will be kind of like having people on, kind of spreading things on as well. So that is on the plan for 2023.
Oh yeah?
Yes,
I
yeah.
do know there's a handful of people that do like talk shows and stuff. And while I might not have the most original kind of content where I'm just interviewing people and talking to them, I do put my own spin on it, which does make it unique. Most interviews are like really professional shit, but for mine, it's we have a multi-hour conversation sometimes, and the full conversation goes out on video. Sure, I put out some clips to get interest in it, but the important thing is the full video is out there. Nothing is really taken out of context.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Kind of get the full picture of the interview because I think like especially with editing for like videos and stuff like that because most videos kind of the sweet spot isn't really that long. It's something like 15 to 20 something minutes depending on the content.
Yeah.
Like it's kinda hard to really get the full picture off of that.
Yeah, and I felt like it helps show the person that's the streamer more, that to put out like a full scruffy conversation where we're actually having fun, we're covering some decent questions, but the important thing is showing off really who you are.
Oh yeah, and I'm now I'm kind of like, huh, should I have mentioned doing crimes this whole time? I might have changed it to social casing.
No, you're
However,
showcasing you're showcasing you got a great sense of humor. You're fine.
Ah, yes, great sense of humor and no warrants, okay? No warrants.
Yet, we will change that.
Ohio
I mean,
notwithstanding. Anyway.
Ohio notwithstanding. They're not a real country anyways, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like most people can't place Ohio on a map. I'm pretty sure it's in the United States. I'm not even fully.
I'm Canadian, so I should be good at geography, and I can't find it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's in the Midwest somewhere, I'm assuming. It sounds like a Midwestern state.
Yeah, probably. I don't know anything about it.
Yep, and that's why Ohio notwithstanding, warrants in Ohio, they're basically like baby warrants. Like you don't need to take that seriously.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So remember, kids, moral of the story, if you're going to do crime, do it in Ohio.
True.
True.
So, do you have a favorite music genre?
Pretty much any extreme metal is going to be my favorite.
Define extreme metal, because I listen to a lot of black metal, death metal, power metal, grunge metal, poison metal, was that one? Toxic, like a lot of stuff.
All right, so for me, extreme metal is anything that I do like metal with singing, but I really do prefer all screaming in the metal for the most part. And then, if we're going towards real specifics, I really like the heavier side of metalcore and deathcore. Like, I personally prefer the core genres over strict metal because I kind of grew up with a hardcore influence. So, you know, I just kind of grew up liking the slow breakdowns, the chugs more than, necessarily just purest metal. I also like the riffing style and, hardcore generally better than metal.
That's fair. I find myself leaning more towards being interested specifically in like power metal, where you get that fast, wicked guitar, and then you get some fairly clean vocals you can understand right away.
That makes sense. Have you ever listened to any Japanese power metal bands? Like, I didn't know this, but they have a really good power metal scene.
I don't think I have.
Right?
You
So,
want to send me some recommendations, please do.
yes, absolutely. I will send you a list of some bands uh, a little bit later tonight once I have my list in front of me. But
It's-
off the cuff, Bride Ear is absolutely amazing. Unlucky Morpheus isn't strictly power metal. They do have some harsh voices, but they're amazing. Hizaki Grace Project's really good. Jupiter, Versailles. But I'll send a list because I could literally like go on for an hour of just naming off bands.
Oh, yes, please do. I love discovering new bands.
Yeah, I'll send you pretty much all the best power metal that I can find out of Japan. Yeah, I listen to a lot of Japanese metal. I actually have a playlist of like all the releases from 2022 that I could find. And I have one for 2021 as well that's just like new releases. Because anytime I find like an article that's like, these metal band from Japan, it's always like bands that haven't actually been active for 10 years. And I'm like, okay, but like, there's bands that are still making music now that are like fucking badass.
Yeah, like everybody is saying, oh, the best bands are in the history, and then nobody these days are any good. And I'm like, tell me you haven't actually looked for good bands these days. Because if you like punk rock at all, check out Magnolia Park.
Oh,
They
yeah,
started up
Park.
2019.
Yeah,
Fucking love
Magnolia
those guys.
really good. You know, I do think, I think the people who say there's no good bands, I think what they're really saying and what I think is a huge problem in rock and metal is there's not a lot of innovative bands. There's not a lot of bands that are doing, a lot of new things, which I mean, you know, I think probably one of the biggest things to happen in rock and metal recently is the pop punk revival, but even then it's a revival. Not a lot
Yeah.
of people that I could think of are really, making waves by pushing new ground. Like the biggest thing being a resurgence of music popular 10 years ago. I get trends ebb and flow and things kind of come back, but if that's the biggest thing and the main thing to happen in the space in a while, that is, it's good. I'm glad the bands are coming up, but it's also kind of a cause for concern looking at it as a whole, where, the big bands are the ones who are doing, old stuff. And, there are some bands pushing new ground, but not a lot of them are getting attention.
Because when you're treading new ground, how do you get that attention if you don't already have attention behind you already? Like,
Networking, marketing, promotion. I mean, same thing a new streamer does.
yeah, it's a lot of you do gotta do what you're doing, but you also gotta be kind of somewhat inflammatory just to gain eyes on you. Like, I found that I haven't really gotten into any music creation in many years, but with my content creation, I didn't really get eyes on me until I started getting a little more inflammatory.
Oh man. I mean,
Not
I'm not
like attacking people directly, but I do talk down about ideologies I don't like or stuff like that.
Yeah, and I mean, I think part of that is like people want people with similar values. People respect people with similar values, and it, I think a lot of content creators, and some can do it, some can make it happen, but I feel like a lot of times content creators kind of try and keep their personality and their values out of it, when what that actually ends up accomplishing, instead of not being offensive to anyone, they become, what's the best way to word this, they you know go from being someone who's trying not to offend to someone who just as a personality type is just inoffensive, which inoffensive is fine, but it doesn't really show who you are, what you stand for. Like you have to at least at some point be like, hey, you know this is what I'm about. Otherwise people are just going to kind of get you lost in the crowd.
Yeah, for me, I feel a personal need to share because there's a lot of people that share their opinions on the fact that trans people exist. So I find it important for me to share back.
Yeah, I've never understand people who can be like, because I mean, I'm just gonna say it, and sorry if this is a little spicy for the pod, for the interview or for your chat. So, and I also apologize, but
We'll get
hey,
as
not all
spicy as
Christians
you
are
want.
bad. I'll preface this by saying not all Christians are bad. Most Christians I've met are amazing people, but a lot of the hatred and bigotry, especially towards the LGBTQ community, it stems from Christian ideology.
It
So,
does.
it's fucked up where you say, yes, I have, a loving God, and, but they also say, hey, this person's not okay. This person's not okay. This act is not okay. This person's not okay. And we're going to make no effort to be okay about it. And I think
Yeah.
there is, obviously, not all Christians are like that, but I do think that there is a responsibility on the Christians who are not like that to say, hey, no, that is fucking wrong. And, start having as loud or louder of a voice than the people are like who are like that. Cause I feel like there is a lot of, oh, well, I don't agree with that, but they're just trying to be a good Christian. No, fuck that shit. Fuck hate.
Honestly, my big issue with religion is not that people are religious, it's that the leaders push their personal bias with their religion so hard. And there are good people that are like, well, I don't really agree with them, I don't really stand with them, but this is kind of my only church to practice my faith. What can I do? And I was a former Christian, and you are pushed into going into church every Sunday to show your devotion to God. And if people disagree with the preacher, but they want to show their devotion to God, they get pushed into like this very rock and a hard place situation.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and see, like Crazy just said in my chat, my opinion is that everyone should love everyone, and LGBTQ are some of the most real people and are the ones who don't judge others because they don't want to be judged. I'm Christian and know you love everyone no matter what, and they are welcomed as they love. So, that's the kind of energy that we need. And,
Oh, 100%.
I would just say, if anything, when you, encounter the, Christians that, do display that kind of hatred and that opinion,
Like
let them
my
know, hey, that's
sister.
not cool. Oh, that is
This,
unfortunate. You have to deal with that in your own family.
wow, that's a big one.
Oh, wait. Dogehype.com! We
Oh
found
my
the
god!
Dogehype! Let's go!
Doge Hype jumps into my chat.
We found them. But yes, and again, like, please don't take this as like an attack on, Christians in general, you know, because
Yeah, I've
again,
what pushed me away from
yeah.
the Christian faith is what Crazy said. Most Christians don't actually, or do actually push and don't practice what they preached. So I got fed up with that hypocrisy. I didn't like the depiction of the deity in the Bible. I walked away for irrational reasons, but then I came to rationally realize that I shouldn't be following stuff for irrational reasons. I gotta have actual reasons to believe in things.
And honestly, I don't really think it is the majority of Christians. I really do think that by and large, most Christians aren't the, hateful people, the ones that are, super against the
Yeah, like
LGBT community. But
most religious people aren't like the Westboro Baptist Church. I do think the world would be better off without religion, but I'm not about to start taking it away from anybody that's practicing. I will push back against the people preaching the bad stuff I don't like.
and honestly, I think kind of what, another part of the problem is that the higher you go up, the more power people have, especially within the, or I guess I should say within the political scene. I think that at least on the conservative side, the Christians who are like that have a huge skewing of power. Like,
They actually do.
I think in just general population, a hateful Christian like that is probably, I'd say, literally 1 in a million. I think the odds really are probably that low. The percentage is that low. But when you get in, into the congressmen that are pushing that, into the people of power, then it becomes something like 1 in 10 or something like that. So I think that is a, kind of big problem. And,
Yeah, with politicians and people in positions of power, it is definitely a higher ratio of who are who actually believes what they say kind of thing. And I will reiterate, my problem is not with people being religious. I don't care. My problem is people pushing that on others, like how my sister has done to me, and I pushed back against her on that, and now we haven't talking.
oh yeah.
That
Yeah, it's just kind of, live and let live, respect other people's values. And, I
yeah,
think a lot of
essentially
people,
what Crazy said in your chat. I agree with him. Them.
yes,
I sorry, I don't mean to assume pronouns.
yes, yeah. Yeah, so many, atheists are amazing people. There's a lot of amazing Christian people. Belief does not determine who someone is by the heart. They just have different beliefs, as, people have opinions. And there's way to disagree and understand each other. Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Oh yeah. Like in my server, I do allow political discussion, and um I don't take action against people for simply disagreeing with me. I don't want a hug box of a community. As long as you can respect the community rules, I don't care where you lie politically. Let's just be nice to each other.
Yeah, like as long as you're nice about it, that's one thing. But the second it crosses that line, then I'm like, No, that's where it stops.
Yeah, like I've had political debates in my channel, in my Discord, and then the next day they kind of start bringing it up in general chat, trying to start the debate back up after we've warned them, hey, can you please keep it to the proper channels? And then they don't. I kicked them.
Yeah, sometimes that happens. Sometimes, you gotta, you gotta know when to ban someone, and you've got to know when to into what's the word I was gonna say. You've got to know when to say, okay, like they're
Oh,
kind of ruining the vibe of the community and bad. But yeah, also Crazy does go by she her.
okay, good to know. Oh, you're straight too? Don't worry, I'm an ally. I kid.
That was just the Uno reverse of the century, and I love it.
Yes, I love to do that.
I support it. I support it wholeheartedly.
Um, do. Oh yeah, back on the music. What
Yes.
song would be played endlessly on loop in your personal hell?
In my personal hell,
Yes. Like, what's the
oh,
last song you would ever want to listen to for all of eternity?
oof, that's. I mean, I don't think I could put a specific song, but just country music in general because I don't like country music. And I'm just gonna preface this because every time I say that, someone says, "Oh, well, are you talking about like the pop country or like the stuff like Willie Nelson and Hank Williams?" No, I don't like country music.
You don't like that twang, that folky sound kind of thing?
Which is weird because I like actual folk music. I don't like specifically country music. Like
Oh,
if
okay.
like the Abbott Brothers or something like that, I will get down.
Fair enough. I mean, not every genre is for everybody.
Yeah, like and I've tried to listen to country, and there's like some country, like few and far between songs that I'm like, okay, I will get down with this, but it's not something I go out of my way, and most of it it's just not something I agree with. Like I can't say it's bad music. Like I can't say, I wouldn't say country is awful music. I would just say I don't like it because I can't say that like country vocalists don't have talent. I just don't really like that style of singing, which kind of ruins it for me. And I'm also, not a huge fan of, just the kind of guitar or anything like that. But I wouldn't say it's awful because, I just genuinely don't think that. I just think it's not for me. Like there are some seriously skilled musicians there.
Oh, yeah, agreed. I don't go out of my way to seek out country, but I mean, if I hear a banger, it's going in my playlist. And I do have some country in my playlist.
Oh,
Country rap, even.
see, it's kind of funny because like I actually like country rap. Like, not I don't like country rap, but the few songs I do like from country is the country rap. Like I know crazy, and this seems to be the general consensus. Is a lot of people like the older country, the newer stuff is kind of but
Yeah, I
the
think that plays into like everything feels kind of samey these days. Nobody's really breaking new ground. I mean, when was the last time a new genre of music even came out? Dubstep?
I think hyperpop would is a little bit newer than dubstep.
What the hell is hyperpop?
So hyperpop is basically like if you took like pop music and took it to the extreme. So super auto-tuned, super
Uh,
processed, but it's by design. So I honestly can't tell if it's an ironic genre or not. I I'm not the hugest fan of hyperpop, but it's there. It's there, it is. But yeah, I actually like the newer country more so than the older country. I think it sounds better, to be honest. But that's like maybe three songs out of the 50 million country songs I've listened to.
that's fair. My dad has played a lot of country, and I didn't like most of it.
Yeah, it's just not for me. Like like I said, I'm not gonna say it's like a bad genre or anything because I feel like every genre has its talent, has its benefits, and I mean music is art, so it's subjective. So I don't really
Oh,
think
yeah.
it's okay to say anything's bad. Like I listen to porno grind, so I'm pretty sure like someone listening to, guitars that sound like they were like detuned in the next room, blast beats at 350 beats per minute, and some guy just going for like fucking 2 minutes. Like, I'm pretty sure that's not everyone's cup of tea either, but I love it. So,
I mean, yeah, not everybody likes death metal, but I listen to that too.
oh yeah,
Hell, I used to be in a death metal band.
oh nice. Were you vocals or?
Yes.
Ooh, I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I was basically like I can do Dr. Claw, but a little more enunciated.
I like it. I definitely get down with the Dr. Claw. Like that kind of scream, it's always been like I could do it, but it's kind of hard. So I usually kind of go a little bit off kilter of the deathcore style.
Yeah, my voice goes really low, but I have fun with it. I can't get quite that low. Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
And like viewers drop to 0 then because people just don't like it as much.
I'm concerned because I gained a viewer from that. Apparently, this is that my chat just is like, yes, let's more of that shit. Also,
What's
nerdcore.
that?
Nerdcore is good Requiem. I fuck with some nerdcore.
Nerdcore.
Yeah,
And yeah,
so
that did hurt my voice when I was practicing to use it. Now I can use this voice as much as I really want for a decent amount of time without it really straining my voice or without it straining my throat.
yeah, once you get the practice down and like you know how to make those sounds, it's really not that different from singing. You're just, using different parts of your larynx and vocal cords and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah, it's the same thing with how I did voice training. I mean, I went from around this voice to where I normally talk now.
That is it. That is interesting. So you were able to like train your voice to get kind of naturally higher like that and just
Yep.
have it be the default?
Yep.
That is
It's just a
interesting.
matter of using it frequently, remembering the pitch you're at, the inflections kind of thing, and then just practicing it. You'd get more and more used to using or I got more and more used to using the vocal cords up higher, and now it's actually awkward for me to go back to my old voice. I actually have to think about it. And like, my girlfriend has also done voice training and practiced all that, and she can't even go back to her old voice because she just hasn't used those muscles in that long. I have been keeping those muscles relatively exercised so I can go back into whatever voice I want.
Oh, that is very interesting.
Nerdcore's hit and miss terms of songs for the ones that can just be the game it was made for, or used for more than just the game. Yeah, I agree. Would Metal Gear Rising soundtrack count as nerdcore?
I could kind of see it. Also, Nintendo Core would count as nerdcore, right? So like Horse the Band.
I guess so. I don't really know. This is new genre for me. Or new territory.
I dabble in nerdcore occasionally. It's not something I go into all the time,
I
but some do it very well.
just like to sing along to music when it's playing. So I've been practicing, I guess.
Ah, gotcha.
So
I will sometimes do that. There's a couple I'll do that with, but not all the time.
for me, if I know the song, I will start singing along to it even if I don't know all the lyrics.
I like it. You don't need lyrics to sing along. You just got to kind of get the pitch, generally right.
Yeah, and you can just mumble the rest. So, has anyone really been far even has decided to use even go want to do look more like?
All right, say that one more time. My brain just kind of broke.
has anyone really been far, even as decided to use even go want to do look more like?
What?
It's word salad meant to throw you off. I like seeing how people react to that.
I honestly, that's kind of genius, and I respect it. Like, I think they should do that on like mainstream interviews. Like Saturday Night Live needs to just throw that one out. Let's see what these celebrities really do under pressure.
Right? My favorite answer to that so far was, pinata. Next question.
That's amazing. Who was that? Because I feel like that's something Boya would say if they got confronted with that question.
That was Medica's 897.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, he's fun to talk with. One of them mecha fans.
Hey, you can never go wrong with Mecha.
True. I'm a mecha fan too.
I have recently been informed that nerdcore is usually fan-made songs or applies to songs made for shows.
Oh, okay. Like, wait.
They use Has Been Hotel as an example. I actually have never watched Has Been
Shows
Hotel.
as well.
I know of it,
What?
but I've never watched it.
What about a song made specifically for a movie that's like a comic book movie? Would that count as nerdcore? Like if there was, say, a Batman movie and they wrote an original song for it.
I mean, I think that might count by that definition.
I kind of think it counts, but it does feel kind of weird describing Kiss from a Rose as a nerdcore song.
That is very true. Rose does not give me big nerdcore vibes, honestly.
No, it's just that one banger that was made. It happened to be made for a Batman movie, but it just picked off.
It really did. Also, I just realized your burger is actually ready. Let me get you Borg here. Hold on.
Borg?
Borg.
Borgor?
Where's my Borger? Where did my Borg go? Where'd my other Borg? Hold on. Do I not have the Borg in this? Please excuse me. I need to do some black magic to conjure up a burger. Burger. Why am I using a
Burger?
browser? This is an image source. That's why it's up.
That'll make it trickier.
Oh yes. Here, you can have this cooked Borg on stream there. There. Have delicious Borg.
Yay, oh god, that actually looks really good.
Yes.
You're making me hungry.
I mean, I would be sad if a burger didn't make you hungry. Like if you cook it, so it's like, I actually don't have much of an appetite. Why did I say, I
Wait
don't have
second.
an
Wait a
advocate?
second. Why do you have the tag XQC?
Because XQC always uses the Vtuber tag, okay?
That's
So
what I
listen,
thought.
if XQC can use the Vtuber tag, I'm going to use the XQC tab because there might be one person lurking who clicked out there because of XQC. And I promise you, I'm getting more out of the XQC tag than he's getting out of the Vtuber tag, okay?
True. Like, I had that suspicion, but it's nice to know I was right.
Listen, I'm going to punch up, okay? I'm pretty sure at this point, if like XQC wants to call me out on using the XQC tag, I'm pretty sure like I'm gonna come out of that with more notoriety than he's going to. Like I have more to gain out of this.
You have far more to gain from that.
Yes. Also, Seal Kiss from a Rose would not be nerdcore, because it was made like by the creator or the composers for the show. Like it was a commission.
No. Tim Burton had contracted Seal to write an original song for the Batman movie. So it's like a very gray area.
I mean, I could
Are you taking away my burger?
More over here.
My burger.
No, I'm moving you more towards the center because I just realized that like I kind of had side, which was not the intent.
Ah,
No one
that's fine.
there.
Everybody's staring at your sweet ass belly, showing off that navel.
Oh yeah. Maybe in the live 2D. I've got my live 2D rigged, but maybe I could convince Lampy to give me a belly button ring asset.
Nice. You should.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against that. I still gotta like commission the rest of the art I want for my debut. Like I still have to do like overlays and stuff like that, but somehow for some reason I was like, let's do the model first. So now I have a model that I've been begging that I've been like dying to use, but I'm like, no, I need to wait until it's time. I need to do this right.
Yeah, I'm doing a debut pretty soon too, actually. My 2.0 model.
Oh, let's go, let's go. Yeah, when are you debuting the 2.0?
On the 18th.
Oh, that is coming up real quick. Let's go. Okay, contract does not count as nerdcore. It has to be non-contractual.
Okay, fair enough, fair
I
enough.
almost said
Damn
it
it.
has to be non-consensual, and I was like, no, that's going to cause a huge amount of problems. Oh boy.
Don't clip that.
do not clip that. Oh man.
Do you have a food that you like that not many others do?
Let's see. I like okra, which I know a lot of people don't really like. Um, I'm not sure if the majority of people don't like spicy food, but there is enough of a spicy food people where I like my food spicier than a lot of people who like spicy food like it. So
Really?
that yes, I have a very high spice tolerance.
I don't
Uh
know what okra is. Okra. Okra.
it's that thing from The Legend of Zelda and the Ocarina of Time.
Oh, that vegetable he plays and summons the wind or whatever.
Yeah, you don't see this off screen, but Link actually just eats an ocarina every single time. That's the real power of the ocarina. He could just keep eating it because you notice how Link never ate during Ocarina of Time. That's why.
Oh. Yeah, that was like the biggest plot hole for me.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, like we need to explore Link's dietary habits, like they did in Hyrule Warriors, where he eats an actual fucking flaming hot magma rock. That was a cutscene.
In the first Hyrule Warriors?
Second Hyrule Warriors, Age of
Oh,
Calamity.
that's why I don't remember it. I only got to play the first one.
Uh, I have both. I love those games. Those are like some of my favorite games of all time.
Oh, those were a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
So what does your ideal breakfast include?
So keep in mind, like, this is all substitutes since I don't eat meat or eggs or anything like that. But I'll just like say because it sounds really weird when I'm like, oh well, I like the impossible sausage, the just egg. So yeah, like chorizo, eggs, some hash browns, and that's really it. You know, and some cheese. I like to put it all in there in like a little fucking scramble. 10 out of 10.
Okay. That doesn't sound too bad.
It's really good, yeah.
So are you vegan or vegetarian? Vegan?
I'm yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Link's
Interesting.
gonna start breathing fire. That would be interesting.
Oh
Get me
yeah,
ready.
probably he's gonna... If he
Yes.
doesn't already...
Yes.
What?
Yeah, I saw Link eating rocks and I was like, you know what? I fucking feel that. And now I eat rocks.
That's how people get converted.
Exactly. Exactly.
So what topic could you talk about the most?
Japanese metal. Like, no question about that, because when I was in fuck, was it even high school? It might have been middle school, but like middle school or high school, like back when, young dad bod was just, a pudgy kid.
When
I just
DadBod was just teen bod?
yeah, exactly. I was playing Neopets and I found someone's profile that was talking about this band Malice Miser and like J Rock and Visual K. And so I started listening to Malice Miser and I was like, okay, this is really cool. They're not really that metal. They have some songs that could be metal, But
Weren't
then
they like more of gothic vibes?
yes, very much more gothic vibes. But I
Because wasn't
mean,
didn't that have Gact in it?
yes, yeah,
Yeah, that's why I knew it. Because I knew
yes.
Gact from like high school.
Ah, gotcha. So even the Gact era had a couple of heavier songs like No Pains, No Gains, N Type. That was kind of metal. But from there, I started listening to Kagura, they're not really metal, but I also started listening to Deer and Grey, who is my favorite band like of all time. I have a Deer and Grey tattoo like down my side. So
Nice.
yeah, I started getting into that. So then I started like really liking, kind of Japanese metal as a whole. So I started, looking into it, kind of going back to the roots of like, Loudness is probably the first big metal band in Japan, like overall, or at least the earliest one I could find that really had traction outside of Japan in any meaningful way. And then from them, there was X Japan, who they really spawned the visual kei genre, which is it's weird because it's called a genre, but it's really more focused on the appearance than the actual, style of music. Like Malice Miser would be visual kei.
Yeah, it's
Urban Grey is
Visual
visual
K is a lot more about the aesthetic rather than the music, I want to say.
Yes, yeah. The music is kind of, it
Secondary.
could be whatever. I wouldn't necessarily say secondary because a lot of the bands still make, at least decently competent music, like the ones that get, recognized. But it is, visual K is more a style than a genre, I think would be the way I'd put it. Because,
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm leaning
yeah,
towards that it was more of a secondary issue to them with Visual K. They're more concerned about the aesthetic and then making their presentation as good as possible. And
yeah,
they do make some good music too.
yes, they make some very good music. I still listen to visual K till this
Howdy,
day.
howdy.
It's good. Oh, hello there, y'all.
I don't think we mentioned you directly, Zip. You might have misheard there, but I am glad you're here.
I whispered it very quietly. I'm just whispering you sweet. Pay no mind to it.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So, who is the most interesting person you've ever met or interacted with?
The most interesting person I've ever met. That is a interesting. I mean, met or interacted with, like, as far as having a deep conversation, probably this dude I knew in Rhode Island, Donald Pissinger, because this guy had like a really wild life. Like he was he was in the Navy for a while, and then he kind of got out of the Navy and ended up making friends with the Dabana family, who basically they made America's Funniest Home Videos, like that was their show.
Oh, shit.
They were the producers of it. Yeah, so they were just like they were well off, and it was kind of interesting because you know he was gay, and the kind of matriarch of the Dabana family was very religious, but they somehow became really good friends despite her not really being accepting of the LGBTQ community. And you know kind of through that, and he also just had like a lot of stories and friends, so I became friends with him and like met a lot of people through him. And it was like business owners, people who owned like ice cream shops, bars. He was really kind of in the entrepreneur scene as well. And it even got to the point where when I was homeless for a little bit, I went to live with him in the guest house of the Dabona, kind of family there, which I don't think they know about. So if any like low key like millionaires are lurking in the chat and know the Dabonas, like please keep that between us. I would appreciate it. But yeah, and he just had like a lot of stories of
It's a
his time in the
secret.
Navy, just kind of traveling around. Yeah, so it's very interesting.
That does sound quite interesting.
Yeah,
Let's
that
let's
is.
hope that doesn't come back. I'm not going to be clipping that for reasons.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think anything would come of it. Just, and this is a little morbid, but I'd be kind of surprised if he's still alive. I kind of fell out of contact with him after the army, but he was like 80 when I met him.
Oh,
And that was like
so
totally.
he's lived a full life.
Yes, he has lived a full life. I'm not just like,
Hmm.
that, he just statistically, like, I'd be very surprised. Maybe he's like 90 something and still kicking it, or 100 and something, but, you know,
It would
that would
be
be,
a little hard to find out.
yeah.
If you could have lucid dreams, what would they be about?
So it was kind of weird because I trained myself to lucid dream and then I actually lost the ability again. So you have to keep on it to be able to lucid dream.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually really easy to train to lucid dream. All you have to do is have a tell, right? So for me, what I would do is I would pinch the top of my hand, like the skin on the top of my hand, and go as an awakeness check to be like, okay, am I awake? And eventually, like, it happened in a dream and I was like, oh my god, I'm lucid dreaming, like I am not awake right now. So it's kind of weird, but that does carry over. So when I could lucid dream, I mostly did redacted with redacted and a little bit of redacted. Oh, it's feeling really spicy. I would.
Oh god, that's so fucking hot.
Exactly. But I remember the first lucid dream was the funniest one. So it was like I was back in the army and we were deployed and Satan just appeared in the middle of a firefight, like full like red horns, demon brimstone stuff.
Yeah, I
And
know
then
the guy.
that was the first time I decided to awake check. So I did. So I went up and bitch slapped Satan. That was pretty fun.
Nice.
Yeah. That's like there's got to be a fucking meme in there, like the fucking eat spicy chicken like a boss, lucid dream, smack Satan like a boss.
You mean girl? I'm confused, Pink. But yeah, you gotta bitch slap Satan. You gotta show your dominance.
Exactly. If you can't dom the devil, what are you even doing with your life? Because we all know from the documentary South Park that Satan is 100% a subby.
Oh, Satan is 100% a sub.
Oh yes.
And I thought Lucifer and Satan were different people, Pink.
I mean, I think they're this. Aren't they the
I
same?
don't I don't know. I don't keep up with the lore.
Satan, if you're in the chat, can you clarify this? Also, Lucifer, if you are different from Satan in the chat. Yeah, now I slap him in the Binding of Isaac. So yeah, I'm still just slapping Satan everywhere.
Nice. So, what story has had the biggest impact on you?
So when you say story, do you mean like the story of a person, or like uh maybe like a story that I've read, or what? How are we defining story in this?
Well, I tend to think of like a book or visual novel, something like that. But there have been people that have been like, well, the story with the biggest impact on me was the time I ran into a door and got scarred in the forehead. It's like, I wasn't expecting that, but okay.
Oh man. I mean, if we're going by, your main definition, I would probably have to say probably How to Win Friends and Influence People, because, the book is very much on the handle of the self-help books where, a lot of it is bullshit, to be completely honest. Actually, no, you know what? I'm gonna change my answer to what the fuck is that? I think it's called Think and Grow Rich by Robert Kiyosaki. Hold on, let me look this up. And it's not because of the book itself, it's because of kind of the story behind it. So let me Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's it. I literally said the same book that like was not Robert Kiyosaki, and it was like I think it's that same book. Yeah, fucking intelligence. But so Think and Grow Rich is or Rich Dad Poor Dad. Holy fuck. Basically the premise behind it is this guy grew up where he had his biological dad who he calls his poor dad, who is just not well off. Like he's not saying like that his dad was a bad person or anything. He just calls it the poor dad for the sake of alliteration and to say this is, the person in my life who is not well off. And he also had a rich dad who was his friend's dad who kind of took him under his wing and kind of saying, okay, this is how my rich dad approached things. Like, this is kind of the difference between how rich people and how, people who are not rich, kind of think, manage their money, interact, stuff like that. And when I read that first, I was originally about like 16. And I think it does a good job of opening people's minds up to, entrepreneurship, things like that. But I reread it later and I read some of the other books. There's a lot of bullshit in it. So it kind of taught me, it was a big lesson because it was like a book I read and kind of, shaped a few things fundamentally of how I thought about the world as a teenager and how I thought, success looked. And a lot of it was like, hey, this he didn't really have success with this book until he aligned himself with the multi-level marketing, community and did get speaking with them and kind of had that cross promotion going on. And hey, there's not records of a lot of the things he's saying, which there would be in any legitimate business. So it was kind of a lesson of, even if you think you're immune, even if you think something's reputable, like, hey, it was kind of a, self case study of how easy it is to kind of fall into, ignorance and fall for, I guess, propaganda, for lack of a better word. Like, it wasn't state sponsored, but it was for, hey, check your sources, even if it's something that's, really popular and generally accepted. Who is it popular and accepted by, and why? If that makes sense.
Yeah, I can get that.
Yeah. Also, the whole Lucifer Satan thing, I've been informed that apparently they're meant to be different entities, or yeah, they can be different entities, but they can sometimes be portrayed as the same entities. But you
I don't know. It's all
where the source comes from and why they like it.
yeah,
As
pretty
we
much.
oh yes. But yeah, and then from the other definition of just like life stories that happened, I would say probably uh being homeless for a bit. That definitely, kind of changed my kind of changed my life and had a big impact because, it is not
That'll
easy.
change your perspective.
Oh yes.
I think for
Yeah.
me, it was about 2 weeks I was in that position.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks and then I was already enrolling in the army, so I basically told my recruiter, "Hey, by the way, I'm going to be homeless. What's the fastest way I can get out of here?" And they're like, "Got you in 2 weeks. Got you in another week, bro." So I just went back home to like live back with my dad for a week before I left because he was like, originally I told him, I was like, "Hey, look, I'm going to solve this problem. I'm going to get myself out of it. Like, I don't really need or want your help with this because I wanted to, I got myself into the mess. I wanted to fix it myself." So after that happened, once I found out I was gonna leave to the army for a week, he was like, "Hey, like, I get that you want to fix this yourself. Like, you fixed it, you've got the time frame, but like, come back because you're gonna leave for basic for a week." So I was like, "Yeah," which was kind of funny because I did end up, doing the whole basic thing, but part of leaving to the army, you're supposed to take a bunch of PT tests, and so I texted him. I'm like, "Hey, I actually went back to my dad," and he's like, "Okay, I've seen you, do the physical stuff just in our training. I'm just gonna say you passed because there's no reason you're." He's like, "I know you're good for it," and I was like, "Thanks." Yeah, because back then I was like really into CrossFit and like physical fitness and everything like that, which I should probably get back in because Your boy's starting to look a little bit too much like the model now. But
What? You don't look like your VTuber?
okay, so actually now like my arms are slightly less buff than the model, and the beard's a little more. It's like a little bit, but other than that, I'm basically a model. Like I actually do look insanely similar.
Honestly, me too. I don't have the horns IRL, but I am technically a sex demon.
Hey,
Wait,
I mean, that's the important part.
yeah, I'd say it counts. I've slept with about 80% of my friends.
Hey, I mean, that's just building bonds. That's promoting
It
team.
is.
Exactly. You're out
I'm
there living.
just helping my friends de-stress.
Exact. Exact.
Out of curiosity, how long did you serve?
Just the 4 years. I did my 4 and out because I had one
Okay,
really good unit, but my unit after was kind of garbage. So I was like,
fair enough. I was curious about that. Is
oh yeah.
there... Want to make that 81%? Maybe.
Ayo, let's go.
Is there anything on your mind you feel should have more attention brought to it?
Um, I mean, let me think about that because there's a few things that I could think of offhand. Like, I think the first thing is, and again, please don't take this as attacking Christians or anything like this, but I think we do really need to look at, religion's role in the anti-vax movement, the, spread of, COVID, because, you know, there is a correlation between, areas with large churches and outbreaks. So I think that, does need to be looked at. Now, that is a correlation. I can't really say that's a causation, but I think we do need to look at, is it necessarily the religion? Is it because those areas, are maybe in poorer areas and, just don't have access to the same resources, education, they come from a conservative place? Whatever the actual root cause of it is, there is a correlation that I do think, needs to be looked at. And on top of that, I think there needs to be more attention to, just the water shortage that's coming through the world as well. Like, I think there is going to be a time where, veganism and vegetarianism becomes something that is really going to be the dietary default, not because of values, but because
Because of necessity.
yes, it takes a ton of water to, raise cattle, to,
Yeah.
raise any livestock. And with the water shortage, I don't really see people talking about the fact that, if water runs out, if we have that resource, there's going to be less food to go around. And of that food, the first thing that's going to go is the one that takes the most resource, which is just, meat.
Beef.
Yeah, meat and to a lesser extent dairy. So I think it needs to be looked at more from that perspective. And I think, this
Well,
is a little
there is an answer to getting that protein, but most people don't want to hear it. Honestly, me either. Because,
I
you
mean,
know, it's...
personally, I'm a huge fan of mass orgies. Oh, you meant insects. Oh, my bad.
Yes.
Bad. Wrong protein. But I mean, even other than that, I think if like we, framed it in that perspective, like, hey, if we don't take like, climate change and water change seriously, we're not going to be able to eat meat. America will solve that shit in a week. Do
Yeah,
you know?
it'll be like, hey, America, do you like your burgers? Do you want them to not be made out of bugs?
Right?
Fix climate change.
Listen, fix climate change for them sweet, sweet burgers, boy.
Yeah, but then that also does kind of play into the pushing the solution onto the masses of the people rather than, the 100 or so companies that are doing 80% of the emissions that are damaging our atmosphere.
See, I'm not looking at it so much of the putting it on the individual people because I do agree. but I think that is something that will make the people angry enough to put it back to the
Oh
corporations.
yeah, 100%. It can still do that. I just have that worry of like how much that there's a lot of corporations that are pushing you to save the environment by recycling bottles. And like that's all you need to do when that is nowhere near enough.
Actually, there was an interesting documentary, or I think it was a documentary that I watched on it that basically went over like the reason that the whole recycling system is as it is today is just to basically, take the burden off of the corporations and basically, kind of like you said, put that solution on the masses, and it, really doesn't have nearly an impact people think it does, and what can actually be recycled isn't nearly as much as people think. It's like
Yeah.
they call it wish cycling, where they're like, I want this to be good, but it might not actually be good.
Yeah, like the people that have their goddamn coffee cups, that paper cups, and they'll throw it in with the bottles. That is
Yeah.
actually making things worse because now I used to work a job where I had to sort out the bottles, the cups, the cups we just threw away, the
Yeah.
cans, pouches, like all of those beverage containers. I had to sort through that, and it took us forever to get through the garbage that people threw into recycling.
Yeah, I can imagine, like, even just seeing what people will throw in the recycling, like, it's ridiculous what some people think is like,
I did win a lot of free coffees and donuts though, because
hey,
have you ever heard of Tim Hortons?
I have heard of Tim Hortons, yes.
Yeah, they have a promotion, roll up the rim, where you just roll up the rim and you might get a prize. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's just a coffee or donut. There were so many of those cups coming down the production line while working that bottle sorting. We would just stack them up onto the side next to us and just keep working. Then at break, we're just rolling up like hundreds of cups.
Oh, that's what's up. Just get just getting like all the freebies. I mean, hey, perks of the job. Sometimes you do get some pretty weird perks.
Oh, yeah. I almost had a full, brand new corner desk because of my current job. But I couldn't get it from the site to my place, so they destroyed it.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Uh,
Is there anything you would say you rebel against?
so I would say, and maybe this isn't like a major rebellion, but I kind of rebel against the kind of
Machine?
separation of the VTuber and face camera,
Flesh tuber?
that- yeah, flesh tuber kind of separation there. Because I mean, it's not everyone that does it, but I feel like a lot of times, we both stay in our respective places,
Yeah.
and I think that limits both sides. Because, for example, a lot of if you're just watching, VTuber content to improve your stream, a lot of that is focused on specifically the VTubing side. So specifically, live 2D stuff like that, where,
Yeah, not always touching on other important things that really need to be mentioned.
yeah, or just other tools that are available. Because I mean, stuff like that, even though I personally think there is a case for it, especially with reactive PNG images, they could do a lot of cool stuff like that.
Oh yeah, you can actually use GIFs. So you can have an animated PNG tuber.
Oh yeah.
If you want to check that out, I would recommend watching the interview I did with Medica because he has a activated or an animated PNG tuber. Looks pretty neat.
I might have to check that out, yeah. But I think it just comes down to like people, they aren't really using each other's resources, and they aren't really, kind of, spreading the knowledge, which none of us is as smart as all of us. And I think it also limits like, who you can create with and the creativity and the collabs that you could do, because you're, basically limiting yourself to a smaller pool on both sides. Like I usually have at least, one flesh tuber in pretty much all of my collabs, sometimes two or three, just because I collab with who or I vibe. Wow, I collab with who I vibe with. I don't know why that sentence was so difficult. See, collabing with people,
I
good.
vibe with who I
Making
collab
words
with.
happen, bad. Yeah, exactly. But like I do think there is that kind of, whether it's conscious or unconscious, like I'm not saying that, there's like a line in the sand, but I do think it's worth it to have kind of more mixing to say, okay, what can we learn from each other as a whole? And especially at this point, I think that the novelty of VTubing has worn off to enough of a point where in order to be a successful VTuber, you really just have to be a successful streamer. So you should get that knowledge from, as long as you're not looking for something specifically like live 2D tutorials, stuff like that, then
Then probably check out some flesh tubers that make it
exactly.
their brand to share that kind of info. Like Stream Scheme on YouTube. They've got a lot of good tips.
Yes. Yeah, Stream Scheme is amazing. Gale Level's also really good. What is
Yes.
Captain Briny? Sorry.
I
So
don't
just
know.
looked it up.
I was reading that too. I'm trying to decipher what they meant.
I'm like, is that nickname for an Isaac boss that I'm just like not familiar with? I don't know who is Captain Brinybeard. Like I feel like we just need the X File like oh, head boss. Okay, I haven't played Cuphead, so that's why I was very lost.
Oh, okay.
Still,
I've
first
played a
try,
little bit of it.
impressive as fuck. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah. Cuphead's not easy.
No.
But yeah, I do a lot of interviews. Like every one of mine has been with VTubers, just because those are the people that will interact with me to collaborate.
Oh yeah.
I want to interview flesh tubers. I want to interview musicians. Like anybody that makes any sort of content, I want to get to know them.
Also, have you kind of noticed this? But like, I feel like on some aspects, like musician Twitch is also kind of like its own separate thing. Like, I
Really
know some
is.
of yeah, like I know some of the people on the music side of Twitch, like they hop in on the game side, but it kind of seems like there's like a whole other like ecosphere, which I guess, will happen, but you know, some of them have some pretty cool stuff that they do and some stuff that, you could kind of get inspired by. So I'd also say like, hey, if you normally watch just any specific kind of content, like whether it's, VTuber versus, FleshTuber or like gaming versus, music content and you're a creator, watch some kind of content that you wouldn't normally watch and see what you can find. If you're just watching, kind of the same sphere, you're probably going to see, some innovation, yes, but a lot of people kind of doing the same stuff the same way.
Yeah, you really got to work at expanding those, um, the different ways you reach out to people and engage with them.
Oh, yeah.
What do you wish was illegal?
Uh, to say it's kind of hard because if I had my druthers, I'm not really a huge fan of legal drugs and alcohol, but at the same time, I know that is an absolutely insane opinion to actually wish, and we've seen that prohibition didn't work, so I wouldn't necessarily, say that. So something that I'd say would actually be, realistic illegal that hasn't been a tried and failed experience and not just my personal opinions. I would have to say that, and I mean, maybe in some forms or fashion, it is illegal already, but I would say make hate speech illegal. I really, I don't think this, the Constitution or the amendments were really meant to protect hate speech. I don't really think that's what the founding fathers had in mind. So, you
But
know,
I don't think they were trying to address it either.
yes. Yeah, so I'd say, I'd say if you're speaking outwardly hateful, hateful to someone, I do think there
Yeah.
should be real consequences. Or conversely, make retaliation against hate speech illegal. Make it so, hey, you have your freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want, but the consequences up to
Somebody
and
can
including,
legally pop you.
yeah,
Like
like
a
up to,
punch in the face, not actually kill people over language.
I mean, if they threaten enough, if they say, I'm gonna kill you because you're XYZ, fuck it, call their bluff, kill them.
Yeah, I could make a defense for self-defense there.
Yeah, maybe. And I mean, I hate to say it, but maybe if they knew, hey, the consequences were real, where even if it wasn't moral, it would be legal, hey, maybe it would, at least make them shut the fuck up and rethink what they're gonna say,
Yeah,
which
maybe
I think would
make
be
them bite their tongue a bit.
exactly. And I mean, yeah, maybe that's a little extreme, and I don't think it would actually happen, but you know,
Yeah,
but
it
yeah,
might not even be the best solution, but I can appreciate that solution.
yeah. I mean, it swung far enough one way. Let's have it swing the other way and see, what happens when the people are actually forced to own up to their stuff.
I know, right?
Yeah.
What is the weirdest way you've met someone?
The weirdest way I've met someone. That okay, so I think, and this might not be that weird. I don't really think I've had any like, bizarre adventures where like someone fell from the sky and we became best friends, but there's actually two examples I have, or two possible ones. The first is when I was in high school, and like we were in this McDonald's parking lot, and we were just hanging, like some of my friends were just hanging out with some random dude. So I started hanging out with this dude and we became friends for like a while. But bear in mind, this was 8 a.m. No, actually, you know what? I have a definitive one that is by far the randomest time I have ever met someone and pretty weird. So, uh, I grew up in a small town and we had a yearly carnival. And pretty much everyone went to this carnival because it was the only fucking thing to do. Because again, small ass town. Like my high school was 400 people. Not my class, my high school.
Yeah, I
So
used to live in a town that was like 800 people total.
yeah, so you know how that goes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like 2 a.m. Like obviously, my friends and I, because at the time, we were incredibly smashed. I'm pretty sure we were high as well. And this dude comes up to us and he's a street music. He's like a magician, and he's like, "Hey, you want to see a magic trick?" And we're all like, "Absolutely!" So this dude just gives us a private magic show for like a good like hour and a half at least, and our minds are just blown because we're like blitzed out of our mind at this point, and we never saw this man again. But he was just, you know, he's just like a character of note in my life story now of just street magician that I met at like 3 a.m.
I can't say I have ever had something like that. I think the weirdest for me was just meeting people online. Then turns out they're pretty cool. I happen to know them IRL too.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, that small world kind of thing.
Oh yeah. I don't think I've ever met any online friend in real life. Like I'm not against it by any means. It just like the opportunity hasn't presented itself.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's not like there has to be a definitive answer to this question. It's more of if you got an interesting answer, I'd like to hear it. But it's not like it's not going to cost you a job or anything.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, I hope it's not.
Oh man, hold on. Let me check my phone real quick. And yep, work said I'm fired.
Ah, shit, my bad.
It happens.
What is the most amazing natural occurrence you've ever witnessed?
Mm, So this is gonna sound really fucking stupid, but I grew up in a very mountainy area, so you can't really see like you can't like look out for miles because it's mountains and it's forest. So when I was deployed to Texas, and the area I was at in Texas was very flat, so you could see for miles. And it started raining, and I'd never seen rain clouds from a distance before. So anyone who's lived in a flat area is probably like, really, fucking rain clouds is the weirdest phenomenon. But telling you, the first time I saw rain clouds from a distance was when I was a full grown adult, like 23. And I was just like, guys, what the fuck is the sky doing?
Dude,
Guys, what the
do
fuck
we
is
need
the
to
sky?
get in the storm cellar? Because those are
Yeah,
things you literally need to have in plains areas.
yeah, I was like, what in the chicken little shit is going on? Is the sky actually falling? Like, what the tits?
They're like, no, it's just going to rain, dude.
Yeah, and I was like, that's what rain looks like from a distance. And they're like, you've never fucking seen this. I'm like, no, I've actually never fucking seen this. So I guess it's like the weirdest that I've seen, but it's also probably pedestrian as fuck to so many people.
I mean, it's still a good answer.
That's good. I'm glad it's at least a good answer.
Would you ever try space tourism if given the chance?
um, if it's space tourism that's not run by an eccentric billionaire, then yes.
Yeah, like ideal situations, none of the people we don't like would be benefiting from it. It would purely be it's affordable, you can check out space, there's no real risks going on. Why wouldn't you want to do that? And
Yes, yeah.
I've met some people that wouldn't want to leave the planet. Fair enough, I
mean,
guess.
honestly, like, do I have to go back? Because if I could just leave, I probably would. Like, I'd take my chances. Worst comes, worst comes to worst, either I'll find a way or I won't, and then I'll just like pop open the helmet and then boom, space dust.
Yeah, it's like, can things really get worse than here? I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure they could. There's got to be at least some planet with like some kind of eldritch horror. And you know what? If I find that, awesome. It'll be
You
one
know
hell
what?
of a story.
I
Never thought
am
I'll be.
so fucking sick of voting for a lesser evil. Why can't I vote for an elder god horror?
Exactly. Give me the greatest evil.
Not a greater evil, the greatest evil.
Indeed.
What do you resent paying for the most?
I mean, not a ton I really resent paying for, to be honest. Like, most of the stuff that I get, I'm either like, okay, it's either worth it or it serves its purpose, or I'm like, it is good enough. Like, I don't really have anything that I brought that I was like, yeah, this is absolute fucking dog shit. Like, at least not that I can think of. Like, there is a fan I have that doesn't really work that well, so I guess that, but that's still pretty pedestrian. Yes.
Yeah, I personally wrote that question with my answer being I resent paying for rent or bills. Bills are a little different. I resent having to pay for food, having to pay for the basic human needs.
I mean,
Hey, King.
uh, I can see that, but at the same time, it does also give us agency to choose, within budget what we want to consume. Like, I could see a world where, say, even if you had, allergies or something like that, like you kind of get what you get and it's state sponsored, so you don't have to pay for it. But I could see that being able to go very wrong very quick and kind of deprive people of their abilities to express their values and philosophies through their dietary choices. So that's
I'm
my
I'm not
opposite.
saying make all excuse
Yeah.
me. I'm not saying have like the government make our dietary decisions for us. I
Yeah.
want a basic level of existence for everybody. So like you can still go out and get your name brand, your fancy foods, go out to dinner, all that stuff. I just don't want to have to decide between getting rent or paying rent and buying spaghetti.
And I mean that definitely makes sense. You know, I definitely think that there is, a case to be made for universal basic income. I think that's kind of the best solution to just say, hey, you know, adjusting for inflation, and I can't stress this enough, America, adjusting for inflation, a base income that is, a comfortable way to live off of. And I mean, not just, hey, you can afford the most slummy, like bare bones thing, because there needs to be enough where, you have your needs taken care of, but it's also enough to have, be able to live a decently comfortable life, not in excess, but be able to, buy
Have
the
a
things you want.
dignified
Yeah,
life.
exactly. Thank you. And
Yeah,
yeah, I think that,
that's honestly where I'm coming from with that.
oh yeah, because I mean, people can still, do side hustles, earn more money if they choose to, but
Yeah.
I think there should be a baseline of like, hey, this is, what you get, be taken care of.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think a universal basic income is a perfect solution, but it's definitely a step in the right direction that we should be taking.
Also, actually, kind of to go back to a previous question, another point I think that, doesn't get enough attention and that I think people need to have eyes on is just the fact that no matter how much technology increases, no matter, how efficient things get, we have been working, longer hours and, you know, our, options like break, sick leave, stuff like that are constantly being under fire. You know, technology, which should enable us to have more free time and, work less, is instead being utilized to get more hours out of us while we are also being asked to work longer, which I think, not I think people are aware of it, but I don't really think there's a huge call to action in the larger public eye about it.
Not quite yet. We still need to get people thinking about it more.
Yeah.
Which workers would you say have the worst jobs?
That is a good question. So I would say maybe overall retail workers, because they don't make that much. They have to deal with, a lot of people
Customers.
at their worst. Yeah. And, I don't really think they get a lot of respect. They're considered essential, so they have to come in during pandemics and stuff like that for the most part. So it's kind of like they get the worst end of a lot of sticks.
Honestly, true. I work construction, which is physically demanding, but at least I'm compensated for it.
Oh yeah. I work in finance, so it's like, if we mess up, things can go really wrong, but it's not really an insanely hard job, and they do pay decent.
That's not too bad.
Oh yeah.
What change would you like to see in the VTuber community?
Ah. you know, I'll go with maybe the spicier one. I would
I like
say
spice.
I'll say more compassion, because I think a lot of times, people are really quick, especially in the VTuber community, to attribute to malice that which could be contributed equally to ignorance. It seems
Yeah,
like a lot of times, if someone's generally ignorant about something, and it can be something, you know, where they say something racist or they say something, discriminatory, towards the LGBTQ community or in any scenario, but what they're doing is they're saying something out of ignorance, and no one really, says, "Hey, that's wrong," but here's how you could fix it, or reaches out and talk to them. Just the gut reaction is to jump on the hate train, because people more like it's it's the best way to word this. I think for a lot of people, and maybe this goes out beyond just the VTuber community, it's really easy to feel right and justified rather than to try and change, someone's mind or have a discussion. So they'll immediately jump towards, the worst possible scenario, I guess, or the worst possible interpretation of it. And there's really, no growth, no change that comes from it. And yes, after a certain point, outrage is justified, canceling is justified, but you should at least give the person a chance to have that discussion and maybe realize, hey, what they said is fucked up, and apologize. And I feel like, that doesn't always happen, and it's not always, for the betterment of the community that it doesn't happen.
yeah, for the most part, that's, I believe, is a common thing just online in general. That's just kind of how it plays out in the end. But
Yeah.
but hearing this is just making me honestly think about the Mummy Mortem drama when he graduated.
Yes, yeah. And,
Like
kind of,
I left a supportive message of seeing him graduate, and then somebody replied to me with this call out thread. I read through it, and I don't feel that call out thread was justified.
yeah.
I
And
don't think they actually tried to reason with him. I think they just started a conversation in DMs, but then never followed through with it. They never showed Mummy's or Mortem's reaction to that last DM they sent, and they just jumped onto automatically, he's racist, he's race apologist. And that never sat right with me.
Yeah, and I mean, I even DM'd him to be like, "Hey, did anyone actually like sit down and explain to you, why it's wrong?" And admittedly, this was a little after the fact, but he did say like, "Yes, people reached out and people said like, hey, this is what's wrong. This is what, and I don't support that anymore." You know, and you know, he did basically say like, "Hey, I didn't make a public statement because I know how Twitter gets," which granted, I do think a public statement should have been made.
Yeah,
He's
I
incorrect.
think it did hurt him to not publicly address it.
And more so than that, I think
Ah,
it hurt, the community. There's a lot of people who followed him, and to just have it be left at that, I don't think left a good taste justifiably in mouths. But at the same time, there is kind of that point of, yes, Twitter does like to interpret things the wrong things in the, most cruel way, or not the most cruel way, because, I think, yes, racism absolutely should be called out. Discrimination should be called out in any form. But I think, there needs to be that look of, hey, are they being hateful or are they being ignorant? And if they're being ignorant, give them the opportunity to be educated and stop being for it. Really did.
yeah, honestly, it's a lot of listen to what they're saying in total, not just the words they use. Like, I've had conversations with people that would never drop a single slur of any kind, but everything they said was basically denouncing the existence of queer people or trans people. And then I've also met other people that did drop slurs, but everything they said was in support of that community, and they were just more on the ignorant side, not really thinking about how those words affected people, even though they were arguing on my or in my defense.
Oh yeah.
It's a gray area, and not a lot of people actually take the time to analyze what's going on.
Yeah, and again, I think that's also part of society at large, but I think it, kind of is amplified in the VTuber community, at least from what I've seen. It seems like it's, it kind of spreads like wildfire a little bit quicker than other places.
I'm mostly only really engaged on VTuber Twitter, and even then, I'm in like the lefty VTuber circles. So
Yes.
with that, it's a lot of the well-meaning, good-intentioned people will bring up problematic behavior. And then some less well-meaning people will start jumping on that, not really supporting of the behavior. And then the
They want
bad-intentioned people will rile that up even more and then start pulling people from outside of the community. And then it just becomes this whole big thing on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
That's just
definitely.
That's just kind of how it happens with like every single content creator getting called out.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes it's over justified behavior. From what I've seen, most of the time it's not.
There is always going to be, the one or two people who are genuinely malicious, but I don't think by and large that's the majority of people, and I don't think that,
Oh yeah, I definitely don't think it's the majority of people. But
yeah.
I think that the fact that there is that possibility that it could be a malicious person has people on edge, and they want to make sure, or they're worried about things going wrong or whatever. They just want to make sure their community is safe, and they want to call out bad behavior. I don't think most people want to do like a big call out. They would rather handle it quietly and actually see that their words were reaching the person and their behavior was changing.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, I am on to the last question I've got for my interview.
Oh snap, the final question. The final countdown.
It's going to be a tough one, but I
All right.
want you to answer truthfully, please.
All right.
What things in your life are you grateful for?
Definitely my family, they're all super supportive of both, the content creation, on Twitch and, the VTubing side of things, which I know a lot of people's parents aren't. So, definitely grateful for the family. My wife is always super supportive. She's absolutely amazing. She will help out, anything I do and, give me her full support. So definitely that. And just honestly, all the friends that I've made, since starting content creation, like I've met some amazing people, got to vibe and got to have experiences that I wouldn't really normally have. So I think overall that's what I'm grateful for.
Oh yeah, I've made so many connections just getting into content creation and just engaging with so many different people.
Oh yeah.
This has been a blast. 2.5
Yes,
hours I've been live now.
Oh snap.
I think my shortest interview was about 40 minutes, and the longest was over 3 hours.
Oh damn, that is a long interview.
Yeah. They range sometimes. This one's roughly 2.5.
Oh yeah, so I feel like that's a good length.
Oh yeah, I think it's a pretty good length for an interview.
Oh yeah.
I like all the different topics we covered.
Yeah, I think we covered a lot of ground and kind of, got in the woods a little bit, Maybe didn't get full spicy, but got a little picante.
Yeah. So, for the end of the video, would you like to shout yourself out one more time?
All right. Hello. I am DadBodRapunzel, your typical magical girl dadbod. You can find me on Twitch playing, roguelikes, you can find me trying to pronounce words, roguelikes, Metroidvanias, and occasional shenanigans with friends. So yeah, that is me. Hello.
Catch him on Twitch and follow his Twitter too.
Yes, show up at my house bearing gifts. You'll be allowed in. You feel a kiss on the hand before I bid you adieu.
Alrighty, guess it's time I start ending stream because I do have some other stuff I gotta get onto today.
All right, that sounds like a plan. Do you have anyone that you were going to rate?
I'm not sure. Are you going to keep going?
I am probably going to end stream as well because I still haven't eaten.
Yeah, and I see you've been live for 5 hours now. You had like a little break before our interview.
Yes, the interview that was totally planned and I did not think was tomorrow.
We both messed it up.
No, I appreciate you saying that, but really, that was on me. You definitely said the third, and I definitely, was like the third, which is.
Well, I know, but this is the second time we've actually scheduled this interview. The first time we missed it because I fucked up. Because I lost track of time.
In that case, we're like Thanos, perfectly balanced as all things should be.
Exactly. Oh my god. I had gotten to 800 followers on Twitter, and I was following 800. So I screen capped that, and posted that, making the joke, balance as all things should be, while circling the following and follower. And then I noticed my following count dropped by 2, along with my followers. So people blocked me for that.
What the hell? That's
It's so funny to me.
Oh yeah. Some people get triggered by weird things, man.
Yeah, I mean, I talk about controversial subjects sometimes, but that is why you block me?
Right?
Okay, I win.
That one? Like really? Like really?
Yeah, that's just winning.
Right?
Okay. Now I guess I should decide who to raid.
Yes, you want to do a dual raid?
We totally could.
Let's do it. Also, I've just been leaving your burger plate out here in front of you, and I apologize. Let me clear your plate. There you go.
Num 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 num. Following who's live and could use the boost.
It got the boost. It got the boost.
Boost, we got the boost.
Yeah, we got the boost.
Have I done a good job? Have I done a good job?
Thank you for the sub there on YouTube.
Oh, we got a YouTube sub. Let's go.
Oh, Dagon's live. Is he just starting?
I think I did see him go live. Let's see how far in he is. He is 2.5 hours in. I apparently saw wrong.
Oh, wow. Is he like AFK?
Let me see, because it was an ad when I got in there. So let me pull this up.
I got right in, and it's just the bar front.
I'm not sure. Yeah, it is very much just the bar front here. He might be AFK for a bit, because either that or he just forgot to end stream.
That could be it. I've done that too.
Yeah, I did that once. That was great. I was like, "Yay, my longest stream is just me not being there."
It's like, hey, what the hell? Why is my VOD 8 hours long? I only streamed for 3. Oh my god!
Right? You're like, "Oh god, I've been live this whole time. Good lord." Let me give you a shout out here in the chat as well. Y'all go make sure to check out Mrs. Bradley. They do cool stuff. Cool stuff. They do interview.
Can I do both?
What?
I'm gonna try and shout out you as well, but I don't know if my YouTube bot works yet.
Oh yeah, that's right. YouTube's. I was like, YouTube has bots too. That's how that works.
Ah, my overlay's not working either. Because I had an overlay that when I did a shout out, it would also play a clip from your channel.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know that overlay. Sometimes it's just kind of touchy, to be honest. Like, there's no real rhyme or logic behind it.
Yeah. It's just bots sometimes. Though
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna raid into Observer Andrea.
All right, I don't think I follow them. Can you post their link so I could pull them up?
Yeah. You want me to DM it or just throw it in chat?
Just throw it in chat.
My chat or yours?
Whichever chat. I got both up, so.
Okie doke. I'll throw it into both my chats. That's who we're going to go see after this. Like right now, I guess.
All right, sweet. Let's go ahead and let's raid it into them. So
I have talked with her before. She is a nice person to talk to. I like her.
all right, sweet. We'll go ahead, show some love, say hello here. Let me get my rage started up here. Shabam. But yes, thank you for everyone who stopped by. Thank you for having me, Bradley. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on.
I just raided you. What the? Hold on here. Let me restart the raid. There we go. I can do this.
I'm like, oh no, I gotta keep streaming for another 3 hours.
Yes. Okay, what? This time it didn't copyright. Hold on. Why am I so
It's twice in a row.
Bruh.
I've got your chat popped out, so I'm seeing you're getting ready to raid me.
Okay, good.
There we go.
I did. Yes. Okay. But yeah, for those of y'all in the chat, I truly appreciate y'all. There's a million streamers you could be checking out, so thank you for choosing to spend some time with us.
Yeah. I hope y'all had a good Saturday. We'll have a good Sunday, and enjoy the rest of your week.
Yes, yeah. Y'all have a great week, and we'll see y'all later.
Alrighty. Take care, everybody. And raid. Oh, I should open up her channel.
I should unmute the channel. I apparently forgot about that part.